know about yourself and your business.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve Gatlin. Hey. My company is I Want to Draw a Cat for You, and basically what I do is draw a stick figure cat for you. I'm a serial silly projects guy. I started my company as an inside joke between friends and then accidentally partnered with Mark Cuban on Shark Tank, and we're now drawing over 22,000 cats for people all over the world. So,
come on, where are my creatives? You can bring value to the marketplace even with your creativity. Next up, I would love for you all to introduce yourselves. Dan and Nick, please. Thank you.
Yep, my name is Dan. I'm the founder of Changed. We built a platform that helps people pay off debt more effectively. You can download our app in the App Store. And this is my co-founder.
We're actually brothers. He got all the hair. But yeah, like Dan said, we're an app that helps people pay off consumer debt, so credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, personal loans. We don't pay off business loans yet, but that's what our new revenue in the business is for. But one thing I learned early in my business career is to never be shy to self-promote. So if everyone can please pull out their phones, go to the app stores, and download the Changed app, you'll see this cute little orange squirrel. If you have any debt to pay off, we're happy to help you with that. And if you email me at nick.sky@changedapps.com, I'll give you a response for you. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. So Steve, tell us, where were you? Did you get the call or did you actually go out to interview?
no, would you believe when I sent my email saying I draw stick figure cats, let me out, I was not expecting a response. I was at a company softball game when I got a call from the producers who was asking me all sorts of questions people with real businesses might get.
Yeah.
And then it dawned on me all of a sudden, oh, he's taking me 100% seriously. So from that moment forward, I played it serious too.
Yeah.
And then over months of phone calls, as they vetted me and made sure I wasn't absolutely crazy, found out one day they would fly me out.
Yes.
It was a wonderful, wonderful time.
Awesome, awesome. How about you guys? What was your journey like?
Yeah, so Nick and I were kind of, hustling and grinding, trying to build this company part-time, working our full-time jobs. And it was actually Nick's birthday. We're out at a bar having a beer for his birthday. And we get an email from a producer saying, hey, I love what you guys do, and I want to have a chat with you to see if you'd be interested in going on Shark Tank. And it came from a Gmail account, which was very suspicious.
So we were a couple beers deep, and I was like, let's email this guy back right now.
Yeah. But we ended up scheduling a call, and he was a producer, he was a contractor, so it wasn't at ABC or SharkTank.com. And he was just like, hey, I love what you guys are doing. That's kind of how it started.
Awesome. So tell us about, you got the call, you said yes. What was the next steps in the process? I know that it's pretty long,
The
right?
next step is a 7,000 sheet agreement that you read every single word of.
Yes,
before
and
signing.
we're gonna make sure you honor that agreement today. But yeah, what was that process?
Oh, it was great. It was I approached this very differently than most entrepreneurs would because I came at this backwards. I wasn't someone with a business who really wanted to grow it on Shark Tank. I was someone who loves game shows, who pretty much invented a business so he could go play on this show. So for me, it was about what can I do to make the biggest fool of myself possible in front of as many people as possible. But that's a very serious and important step because what it allows you to do is just be yourself.
Yes.
Attack this with absolutely no fear and go out there and try to make as big a splash as you can.
Yeah.
And for me, that turned out very well.
Okay, great. How about you guys?
The stack of papers isn't a joke. I wish we had AI back then just to review everything, but yeah, you don't read all of that. It's kind of a background checks, and they're asking for every single aspect of your life, just to make sure you're not a criminal or whatnot.
But I mean, speaking of background checks, they found a speeding ticket from like when I was going in college. Can you answer a question? How much over were you going? And like a while ago.
The process, the best way to explain it is like it's a black hole. You apply, they say yes, you'll hear back from us. Then 3 weeks later, you just randomly hear back, hey, fill out these documents. 3 weeks later again. So like we weren't putting all of our eggs in one basket. We're just like, hey, if this works out, great. Because we're really earlier on in our journey from starting our company.
And like, although a producer reached out to us, like our spot on the show wasn't guaranteed. Like we still had to go through audition process, and Dan and I would get together afterward, because I drove Ubers while I was like building this company, right? So I wanted to, keep making money. But we would get together on the weekends and at nights and shoot these audition videos and, keep iterating on it while kind of continuing to grow our business and earn money through our, side hustles.
Yeah, nothing's guaranteed. You could be on the stage pitching, they film you, and you'll never air, and no one will ever hear about you. And we saw people that were part of like our cohort of entrepreneurs that went through that process. So while we were celebrating, they were, in kind of the trench, which still occurs even after Shark Tank as well. So, yeah.
I remember they remind you of that every step of the way, that when you say goodbye on the phone, it's, by the way, we may never speak with you again. So there's always that.
I don't know if you had the same experience, but did they have a psychiatrist on deck?
Yeah, so as soon as you finish your pitch, they put me in a little golf cart, and rushed me to another studio to sit for half an hour with the psychiatrist just to decompress from the pitch.
Oh.
Yeah, our guy said like the adrenaline is running through your body, the same type of chemicals that run like when you get hit by a car. So like you need to settle down, like relax, because it's very much TV, less investment, because there's a lot of cameras and all this other stuff throughout the process.
I'm so glad to hear it wasn't just me.
Like you were the only one that got that extra 30 minutes. So you all are numbers guys, and you eliminate numbers, but tell us about your process. I know that it's about 9 months and you have other reports that they do around your business. What did you learn about your business while going through the application process?
Well, I mean, we were really early. We had launched our app like 3 months prior to like getting reached out to by the producer. So we really didn't know what we were doing. We were kind of faking it until we make it, which is something that every entrepreneur needs to do until people think you figured it out, even though you're still figuring out as you're building your business. But we had to get our numbers together. We had to kind of present something that seemed like a legitimate business at the time, and kind of go through the process.
And they want the story. They don't care if you're making $5 a month, So being honest and truthful will get you the furthest on the show, but also being entertaining was one kind of tip we got from our producers. Like, hey, this is TV. If you're boring, you're not going to air, you're not going to make it, right? So we had to really kind of crank up our energy on our rehearsal video or through the rehearsals. And while you're there, you also, before you go on the stage, you pitch in front of like 50 lawyers and producers, and they're all just sitting on their laptops, so it's super awkward. And, well, yeah, and similar to you, but we didn't have a physical product. We were just selling our service, our platform, our app and how it can help people.
Yeah. I love what you said about your story. And so I know, Steve, you really had to hone in on your story, right?
Almost only story. That's all I'm selling.
Tell us about your story and how you were able to really shine.
Yeah, well, when I started my company, I want to draw a cap for you. The gist of it was I had a little song and a rap that I would do to sell to cast of people.
You want to do it now?
Yeah, I do. I want to draw a cat for you. I want to draw a cat for you. It's kind of like that, but they're so once I got talking to producers, I was foolish enough to think, oh, they're not interested in that anymore. Now we're talking about this as a business. Mm-hmm. And about halfway through the production, as we got closer to shoot date, they said, don't you do that little song and rap in the video? And then I clicked with, oh yeah, that's what they want me on the show for, is to be this guy who makes an absolute fool of himself, or this guy who has an amazing song and rap.
Yes.
And
our producers said we look for 3 types of people. People with like a really, really great business, people that are entertaining, people that have a great story. And that's kind of what you see, that, at least for the companies that air.
Yes. So for you guys as brothers, this was an incredible opportunity. How did it really affect your relationship? Did it bring you closer together? How did you manage all of the different ideas and decisions?
So how many people in here are running businesses with their family? Anybody? Okay. So one of the things I heard before starting a business with my brother was that you shouldn't start a business with your brother. Because Thanksgivings are going to be different, Christmas is going to be different, all your relationships are going to be different. But one thing that I found, and I hope that we both found, is that you can be brutally honest and still show up at the dinner table and be like, hey, that was messed up. We still have a family to be, right? So it's an interesting dynamic. family businesses are a huge part of our economy, and it's just something that I think is an advantage rather than a deterrent in growing a business.
Yeah.
We butt heads in the beginning, figuring out who does what roles and things like that.
And by beginning, it means last Thursday.
And we still have, bicker at each other, I guess, in one way or another.
But I noticed you live on opposite ends of the city, as far
Yeah.
apart from each other.
But I also could not imagine starting a business with a stranger or a friend. I mean, it takes a lot of trust to say, hey, I'm going to do this through thick and thin, through times where it's not fun, which most of the times running a business isn't glamorous. And so now I couldn't even imagine starting another business unless he's involved.
Yeah. Let's talk about the deal. Many of you all are with Mark, right? Okay, so talk about when the Sharks, offered a deal. How was that? Did you think about not accepting it? What really made the difference when being offered that deal?
I think they edited my episode to make it look like I had a moment of thought, when in reality, I was waiting for any glint of even a quarter or a dime, and I was going to grab that and run as far away from the studio as I could. So for me, it was very quick moving. I thought, all right, this will be interesting, and
Yes.
I grabbed that deal.
Okay.
I was very excited.
Yes.
So when we kind of made it to Culver City, that's where they shoot Shark Tank, Nick and I were just walking down the streets, rehearsing our pitch, and we kind of set some numbers here. This is our bottom, this is our top in regards to what deal we would take. And we really didn't care about any other shark besides Mark because one, he was passionate about student loans, that's what we were focusing at the time. And then two, he's more technology focused compared to all the other sharks out there. And one thing I want to share with you is the no you hear on stage is way less you don't really care compared to how they actually present it on TV where it's devastating. At least for us, we're okay, next, whatever, we're here to land a deal, we're here to pitch. And Mark, we also heard from our producer, Mark's quiet while he's sitting, he's interested. He didn't say a word until the end. And that's where we landed the deal.
Yeah, we went in asking for $250,000 for 15% of our company. And that we ended up leaving with $250K for 25% of the company, which hurt because it's a Puerto Rican company. We were on the show 3 months after we launched our app. We had $800 in total revenue, and he was taking a flyer on us because he saw the impact it could make on people, helping people pay off student debt and now all forms of debt. Something that we appreciated was that in addition to this capital that we were going to get, being able to appear on a show like Shark Tank, especially when it was in its heyday back when we were on the show in 2018, was just hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for you.
Any angel investor that's going to be the first one to invest is going to take a good chunk of your business for the risk. And we had exposure from Shark Tank, big name investors. I'm this is worth getting out there because we're building a consumer brand. It's really hard to get your name out.
Yeah. Are you guys still working with your shark today?
Oh, I send him ideas daily.
Daily?
Once in a while he replies and says, no. Nice to hear from you.
That is so interesting. We had another Shark Tank panelist, and they all said the same thing. Keep doing what you're doing. How about you?
Yeah, we don't fly his private jets or go to Mavs games. He's very short, direct with his responses. He's helpful when he can be, but we're not emailing him all the time. We're sending him updates periodically because he's still involved, or at least a shareholder of our company. But we have other angel investors that are kind of help us week to week in regards to the challenges we're trying to solve.
And he was super helpful early on as we were trying to figure out our business, our strategy, our go-to-market, how we're going to position our product. But as we continue to mature as a business and as a company, we needed him less and less, and he was more of one, just the sounding board, two, credibility for our consumer brand. Invested in our Shark Tank market is an advantage to us, and just on a regular basis.
You all probably have ads on your Facebook or Instagram after you guys leave here, and you'll see one of our ads. But we still use his face and likeness and whatnot, just to grab people's attention as well.
Awesome. So as you guys went through the journey, what was something that you learned about yourself that was pretty surprising that you didn't think it would teach you as a business owner?
I think real quickly, I learned coming off of the show that Mark wasn't investing so that he could become the face of my thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was investing so that I would continued to be the face of my thing.
Yeah.
So early on, as someone who wasn't incredibly business savvy, I thought, this is great, I get to leverage him in a million ways. But he wasn't interested in that, and he understood, way before I understood, that no, it's still my story, my business, my company, and it has to be my voice that's out there doing marketing for us.
That's great, because marketing from a branding perspective, your story captures people, it causes individuals to say yes because they're connecting. How about you?
I just found out how lucky you get by just being involved in it. You're only lucky because you started something. Like when we first launched Change, we were asking our aunts, uncles, friends just to sign up and give us their like personal finance information, which seems sketchy if your friends asking for that, right? But we just needed eyeballs and data and things like that, and then all of a sudden, like the App Store features us, and all of a sudden that led to what they call a product hunt feature, which several years ago was like a very popular site for technology, and then that led to news and the producers of Shark Tank reaching out. So it's luck based off of the actions we've taken.
Yeah, and I mean, to echo what Steve said, like, story sells, and like, we thought, we were gonna be on the show, and all of a sudden, we're good, everything's golden, but as soon as it's over, like, 2 days after it's over, you're back selling.
Yeah.
And, say what you want, but sales is the best skill to have as an entrepreneur and as a business owner.
Yeah. How was that exposure? So your show aired, right? What happened in the next 24 to 48 hours as far as your sales, your website? How did you handle all of that exposure?
Gosh, it was very tense. I remember, probably for you guys especially, making sure your app and your website are going to be able to handle the onrush of traffic. So during the show, it's just you can't even watch the show, you're watching the server. And then really after that, I don't think I came out of shock for a good month or so from all of the exposure and the conversations I got to have about my company.
Yeah.
You sit on this in silence for 6 months. You know what's happening. Your family doesn't even know what's happening.
Wow.
And then suddenly everyone knows what's happening, and it really takes over your life.
Yeah.
But you got a business to run. So,
Really quick, did you have to draw every order that came in?
so that was the point. Yeah, I was very stubborn about wanting to draw every CAD because I thought as soon as I turn that over to someone else, the story's not there anymore. Granted, I think I accidentally invented AI. So if anyone wants to send me some AI money, that'd be cool. Nowadays, I switched from drawing with Sharpie to drawing digitally on an iPad, which saved my life.
Yeah.
But I've drawn over 22,000 movies.
Wow.
It's intense.
You all?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, because I was so locked in Steve's response.
Yeah. You know what? We were talking about, what were we talking about?
We were talking about what did it feel like?
Yes, thank you. I was thinking about a cat.
What did it feel like after the launch? So one thing we did was reach out to other local Shark Tank people that have appeared.
I didn't get a call, but
and we met with a couple and kind of got their feedback. And one of the things was like, make improvements, but don't launch anything huge, because once you get like a large amount of traffic onto your website, onto your app, like things can crash, right? And you don't want that experience to happen when people are checking you out. So like we made sure all of our T's were crossed and I's were dotted and things like that. And then our team was 4 people at that time. I was on customer support for 12 hours a day, just answering people's questions, right? So it was a long journey throughout that, but we then figured out what's working, what's not, and how we can continue to improve and grow.
Yeah. So what's on the horizon for you all?
Well, I mean, we're focused on continuing to help people, pay down their debt. Like Dan and I built this to solve one of our own problems. Like we were living in our mom's basement for way too long. Like our mom was a single mom, we're first generation Americans. We kind of understood that firsthand, and we understood how it affects people's lives. So like the more hands we can get into, the more people that we can help with this, the happier we'll be at the end of the day with the way we're running our business. So kind of focus on that.
Yeah. How about you?
I mean, we're in the growth stage now, so partnerships, reaching as many people as we can. No one likes talking about that. It's not a sexy subject. Everything online tells you how much money you can make and how fast you can become a millionaire, but then the average person has $10,000 in credit card debt. So my goal is to make that payoff fun or sexy or whatever, however you want to put it, right? And it's not, right? So how can we make it exciting for someone today to actually make a difference tomorrow and make progress?
Yes.
I think the mission behind I Want to Draw a Cat for You and all of my side projects has always been, how can I spread as much silliness and absurdity into the world as I can? So I just continue to do that. I have a business today where I make a guitar pedal that turns your guitar noises into fart noises. And yeah, it's called the fart pedal. And I think I'm going to continue to do things like that. Any pocket I can find where people are very serious and could use an injection of just weirdness, I'm going to be there doing something ridiculous.
Awesome. So let's talk to the audience. We have entrepreneurs at all different stages. They're just starting out. Some of them have been in business for a while, wanting to pivot or scale. As a brand strategist, I have a lot of strategies that I help people. But what, as entrepreneurs yourself, and you have worked with investors, what would you say to those individuals and where they currently are in their business?
One kind of theme or policy that I always kind of try to live by is this theory of embracing the broom. So like doing the work that you feel like you maybe don't need to be doing, but it's like on the ground level, talking to customers, showing up, making phone calls, doing things to help people with the smallest of problems, right? It's amazing how far a phone call to a customer will go versus an email or a text message. Just getting out there and not being afraid to get your hands dirty. Even if you're at the higher level of the executive kind of, business owner stature, but just embracing the room and making sure that, you're not too scared to do the dirty work.
I always thought, like when I first started, someone's going to tell me how to run my business. So there's going to be that one magical door, or that one magical person, and there isn't. You're the magical person. You got to figure it out. And kind of to what Nick says, even though you might be the CEO of your company, you got to go talk to customers because that's the only way you're going to figure out how to continue to grow your business. Because I'm always trying to find ways how to automate some of our processes. I'm always talking to even our team, why are you doing this way? How can I help you? Because I want you to work less, but also just do things more effectively.
I think find a way to embrace the parts of yourself that you may be running from. And I mean, for me, I'm silly all the time. And in most legitimate business, that can be a bit of a hindrance. But the day I decided to embrace it and make my business about that, I started to find success. So I don't mean to say go be silly all the time, but find something in you that's genuine and let your business be an expression of that. And then you start to attract investors and positive vibes, and things will start to click.
Yeah. That's good. And I want to take it back just a little bit and look at things that we may not have known about Shark Tank that you can reveal to us without, coming against that 70,000 page contract that you signed. But let's really dig in. What's something that we don't know as viewers that happens on Shark Tank?
Well, they put you up at a La Quinta. So we got a La Quinta.
Did they move you to a different hotel after you shot? That was a nice
There was
hotel.
a Holiday Inn Express near there.
Back in season 3, really.
You guys read the Ritz?
Okay. How about you?
It's show business. Our producer, when we came off the van or whatever, was wearing Gucci flip-flops and sweatpants, and I'm pretty sure she was smoking weed at the time. But she was just a character in show business, and I think most people are if they're in that industry. Everything was at least Shark Tank is such a big show. It was moving so quickly. They had a process for everything. They moved us from one hotel to another hotel, to production, to going in front of lawyers and things like that. So it's a whole lot of hurry up and wait, and you don't know what's going to happen until it happens.
Yeah, Shark Tank's job is absolutely not to pair investors with qualified businesses. Shark Tank's job is to make a television show to get people to tune in so that people buy sponsorships and ads for their show. And my sense was when they let me on the show, it was because they already had written the story. They had a story they wanted to tell, which was probably something like really smart guy as a weird company, yeah, and Mark Cuban pounces. And I think I filled those holes, and that's why I had luck by getting on that show. And you know, they're making television.
And I heard Nicole asking who wants to be on Shark Tank. I didn't hear too many people, but for people that do want to be on Shark Tank, you definitely need to go in person. Filling out an application online, like it's just like applying for a job. You're gonna be a piece of paper and all stack. They're not gonna know your story, your personality, and all of that. People that we've met there were either reached out to, like us, or people that went in person to share their story.
And at the end of the day, we attribute, no offense, Shark Tank or marketing, and very little of our success to Shark Tank. It's mostly all the hard work that our team has put in, the lucky things that have happened along the way. I always say growing a business is 90% work, 10% luck. So like all of those things culminating into, you know, what we've been able to build today was because of the hard work that our team put into it.
Yeah. My last question for you all is, what would you say to the entrepreneur who's preparing themselves for funding, for investors, or really just the great exposure? What would you say to them as far as how to be ready?
I mean, depending on what you're looking to raise, I mean, prepare for a lot of rejection. I mean, as a business owner, you're gonna run into that all the time. Raising money, I've gotten more no's, I've gotten ghosted more times than I could even speak to, but being prepared for rejection, but making sure that you fight through it, because I hate Mark Cuban says, but you only need one win, right? And then once you have that one win, everyone thinks you're going to have success. So rejection, hard work, just don't stop.
Yeah, I think you only need to raise money if you're trying to grow the business, but money doesn't solve your problems. Money doesn't make your product fit within the marketplace. So you're gonna have to do a lot of the dirty work before you even consider, like, I need some funds now. Like if it's your rich uncle or something along those lines, sure, that can happen. But most investors are not gonna want to give you money until they know, hey, $9 million can make $10 million. That's the only way they're gonna give you some cash.
Yes, that's great.
I love that. I think I answer this a lot in regards to how to market a product too. Make sure your product is awesome. Having an awesome product is the best SEO you can do, the best marketing you can do, it's the best ad spend you can do. Putting money and time and effort into making sure your product is something that you want goes a really, really long way. And yeah, I don't farther than money from an investor or participation in a show like Shark Tank. It's really just making sure the thing you want to get out there is freaking awesome.
We had an investor once compare us to a hot dog stand and say, you can't scale it. And I just told Nick, we're going to build the best effing hot dog stand I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We're still here.
Yeah. Let's give it up for all of their expertise today. Of course, I want to be able to have them connect with you all. So let us know how we can connect with you on social media, your website. Talk about that app again so they can download it.
Everyone download the app. You guys can reach out to me with any questions. I'm happy to help. One of the greatest things about building a business in Chicago is the community that's around here and the willingness of people to help. So just my email is nick.sky@changeapps.com. Any questions, any resource that I can help you with, happy to do that. But please download Change. Appreciate it.
Check us out on our socials. You'll see my face and our community manager's face all the time. We're always making content. At Change Apps, which is on the screen, at least somewhere over there. And LinkedIn, feel free to connect with me and ping me there. Tell me about me.
I'm always doing something crazy and weird, and I keep all of my projects on a website whose name you will never forget. It's not on the screen, but it's where I want you to go. Just type fart.pizza into any browser and it'll take you there. I love to talk to people about their ridiculous projects and about the challenges they face when they're being creative. So please reach out. I'm always happy to chat.
Awesome, awesome. I would love to connect with you at group 713, where I get to meet entrepreneurs who are ready to take action and grow their business. If you are struggling with social media, I also want to invite you to a workshop that I'll be hosting at 4:15 in workshop room 1. Did I get it right, Bree? Okay, great. Bree is here with me to assist. So many of you already stopped by the booth there in the exhibitor hall. Let's continue that conversation. We do want to give you space to speak to any one of us. So feel free to come up. Let's take pictures and grow our social media together. But just do me one more favor and give our panelists a big